We are now going to talk about Florida. What is going on in Florida? Florida has quickly become a COVID hellscape. We are seeing more cases basically in all of the United States, as I mentioned earlier. In part, it's because of the more contagious Delta variant. And in part, it's because not nearly enough people have been vaccinated. If you can believe it, as of yesterday afternoon, only 49.6% of the United States has been fully vaccinated. We are not even at 50% yet, even though vaccines are widely available, safe, and free. They are free. So cases are spiking in lots of places, but in many of these places, hospitalizations are not spiking nearly as much or at all because of the high vaccination rate. So like Vermont would be one such example, and there are many that you can find. The U.S. state of Florida, which has become a cartoonish Trumpian farce led by Republican Governor Ron DeSantis, has hit not only a new single day pandemic long case record, but it has also reached a record level of COVID hospitalization right now. Today, right now, as we are recording today's show, there is a record number of hospitalization for COVID in the state of Florida. What is Ron DeSantis doing? He is trying to ban any kind of mask mandates and get everybody in school. Now, as you can see here, Florida is setting its own new single day case record. They did it on July 31st with almost 22,000 cases. Depending on the day, Florida is regularly registering between 20 and 30% of the entire country's new cases. That's in one state, the state of Florida. But if it were merely cases among vaccinated people for whom it's mostly a cold, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But Florida's hospitals are completely filling up. First of all, check out the positivity rates in Florida, which are 18.1% for the state. In Broward County, it's a 14% positivity rate. Miami-Dade, 12%. Monroe County, 16% positivity. If your positivity rate is above about 5, it means you're not testing nearly enough and you're not capturing nearly enough of the people who are sick. When you have an 18% positivity rate, it means there's tons of people not getting tested who have the virus and are spreading the virus. And then maybe most importantly, hospitalizations are at a record. The Associated Press reporting that Florida breaks COVID-19 hospitalization record with more than 10,200 patients. The Sunshine State had 10,207 people hospitalized with confirmed COVID cases, according to data reported to the U.S. Department of HHS. The previous record was from July 23 of 2020, more than half a year before vaccinations were widespread. So understand that hospitalization today in Florida is about 20% higher than before anybody was vaccinated. Florida is now leading the nation in per capita hospitalizations. Some people saying, well, David, sir, Florida has so many people. Yes, but Florida is also leading per capita hospitalizations. In the last week, Florida is averaging 1,500 adult hospitalizations a day. And listen to this, 35 pediatric hospitalizations every day. 35 kids in Florida are being put into the hospital with COVID. And then what about deaths? Well, because part of Florida is vaccinated, we don't expect the death rate to get as high, but deaths are also climbing in Florida much more than nationally. Daily deaths in Florida, they were down to 22 a day. They're now up to 55 a day, more than doubled. And based on the recent case explosion, we would expect dramatically higher death counts in Florida in the next 15 to 20 days. Meanwhile, Governor Ron DeSantis is almost campaigning for the virus, bragging about we're not going to do mask mandates. We're not going to do guidelines. We're never shutting anything down. We're opening everything, do everything, send kids to school, but no masks in school. If you were trying to have the worst numbers in the country, you'd basically be doing what Ron DeSantis is doing in Florida. Will it get him negative consequences, or will he end up as the Republican presidential nominee in 2024? That's the question. And because we do have a real problem in this country with ignorance, I am not ready to say this will definitely hurt Ron DeSantis. It's possible that somehow, because of the Republican electorate, Ron DeSantis comes out of this looking like a freedom-loving hero rather than a COVID hellscape creating lunatic remains to be seen. We'll have more on the explosive situation in Florida on our Instagram. You can find us on Instagram at David Pakman Show and find me on Instagram at david.pakman. One of our sponsors is SteadyMD Primary Care, the easier and more affordable way to do primary care. And they're giving you 50% off because you are in my audience. You just answer a few questions. SteadyMD will match you with a licensed primary care physician that's tailored to your needs. You'll have a 1-hour virtual appointment and start a meaningful relationship with your new doctor. And from then on, your doctor will be available to you by text, phone, and video chat. It's not some random doctor on call. Your SteadyMD doctor has a limited number of patients. You get the attention you deserve, and they can help you with anything your primary care doc normally would. It's very cool how it works. You don't need insurance. It's just $99 a month, no other fees or copays for visits. Take the free quiz and see which doctor is a perfect fit for you. You'll get 50% off your first month when you go to steadymd.com/Pakman. No risk, no long-term commitment. The link is right underneath the video.